Missoula City Band. So glad you come out this evening. Got out of the house. You got your mask on. Everything's going to be just fine. God, what a beautiful night. Oh my gosh. Hey, we're going to bring Dean Pond up. He's going to sing the Star Spangled Banner. Here we go. Didn't have to rehearse with Dean at all. He knows the tempo I go. Dean's quite a singer as well as a player, and three of our clarinet players are doubling. Right, those are really saxophone players up here. Dean and Corey and Deb. Another one that I moved on over. No, the rest of them are clarinet players, but they're saxophone players. And with having a Corona band, we need more clarinets and less saxophones. They're nice enough to double and play clarinet. And now another one singing with the band. Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, so if you ever want to see, oh look, at someone's going to clap. It must be your wife. That's real nice. That's real nice. So if you haven't texted in yet, please do so. The numbers are on the signs all over the spot. 406-240-6987. Did I say that right? 840. Sorry about that. Area code 406-840-4987. And just if you just texted in your name, the phone knows who the heck you are and where you are, and then tell them what zone you're in. So if the health department needs to do contract tracing sometime, they can do that. All right. So we appreciate it if you took the time to do that. It's the only time in my career I've ever encouraged people to take out their phones during a gig. That's a joke. Also, something missing this year is that we don't have the menus. Some of you like to know what we're going to play beforehand. I guess maybe you just stay away then. I don't know, but they're all available on our Facebook page. So if you're ever wondering what we're going to play, and for the most part, we get the most of it. I'll make a judgment call now and then. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. Sorry about that. But this concert here is historical. And I actually sold a copy of the book here just a moment ago by demand. That 3 years ago when we published the book, with all proceeds going to the band. After I got through writing it, I went through it and pulled off tunes that I had referenced in the book somewhere along the line. And thought, in the first concert, when we brought the book out, we played a concert of those tunes, picked variously amongst the years. And I had so many references that the same theme, and now we're on year number 3. All right, so I still have more to go. They're in chronological order. So from the earliest to the latest of when they were played here with the Missoula City Band, and you're gonna just love them, as long as you like old music. And then right in the middle, we're going to put like a change of pace. There'll be a sorbet right between that will hark back to last week's theme because the fellow didn't pass within our timeline, we made some quick amendments to it. So enjoy our historical program. We're going to begin with a march called the Strollers. It's written by a fella, Mr. Englander. This was played by Charles Lawrenson, was the band director. It was programmed on October 24th. This used to be a year-round band. That's before the community band, before the Missoula Symphony Orchestra. They would play downtown in theaters during cold weather. This was played October 24th, 1914. And 1914, I found it in the records. The composer was born in Vienna, Austria. He went to school in Vienna and then went to Paris and worked with the mentor of our own John Philip Sousa. You remember that from the history lesson? Offenbach. He went to Paris and studied with Jacques Offenbach. You know, we played Can-Can a couple weeks ago. Remember that one? So that same real nice lifestyle. He immigrated to the United States and mostly did gigs in New York City with German-speaking audiences. He wrote over 20 operas, and this is one of his wonderful works. Enjoy it. Here's The Strollers from 1914. Yeah, makes you feel pretty young, doesn't it? 1914. Not bad for 106 years old. You know, you can tell it wasn't a Sousa march. You get to one line and go, ooh, really? Did he mean to take it there? Yeah, he wasn't quite Sousa, but he was okay for an Austrian. Thank you. There you go. Thank you very much. I heard people nervously laughing behind me. The folks coming up with early musical theater 100 years ago in England was Gilbert and Sullivan. And we all try to play their music. Oh man, it's tough music to play instrumentally. Well, there's a local guy in New York City trying to do a similar kind of deal. Early Broadway musical shows, and they were a little bit corny and a little lively. This one there must be a dozen different stops, so hold on to your applause, don't get excited. You'll know when we're really done. If you're not sure, just hold on to yourself. There's another tune coming up. This is written by our American counterpart to Gilbert and Sullivan. This is Victor Herbert, and many of you know of that name and may know some of his other selections. This is called Wonderland, and it's a selection from an operetta he wrote. And it was programmed August 29th, 1915 by Charles Lawrenson. We remember was the great-great-great-grandfather, old Pete Lawrenson, our chief of police here. His great-great-grandfather and great-grandfather both were band directors of this band for a whole bunch of years, and we're indebted to that family for sharing all their music for all those years. Here is Selections from Wonderland. just before, we did the downbeat, I said, hey, let's see who makes the least amount of mistakes. They won. The train wreck about 2/3 of the way through was me. Wow, we in one or we in two? Which is it? We struggled for a while until I finally found my spot and I started listening to the drummer. Sorry, man. And the hardest thing for a musician is to let it go. So for the next 2 minutes, I beat myself up about it and then lost my place a couple of different times because I was busy feeling bad about what I'd done. And it's exactly opposite of what I always encourage band members to do is, hey, so after you make a mistake, just let it go. Just try not to screw up again, but don't wallow in the fact that you screwed up. Trying to follow my own advice. Dardanella. This one's precious. Hey, the heat's off. That's the hardest one of the whole night for us. Technically it wasn't difficult, but all those stopping and startings, it was just not childproof, you know. Dardanella is an echo from the east. It's either a one-step or a foxtrot, however you like to dance to it. It was a hit during the 20s. In the second half, you'll hear a little ragtime, just a little whiff of ragtime starting to come in, and it was a program on August 3rd, 1920, 100 years ago, next month. There was a substitute band director. Martz was in. He did the band for about a year before, and he was on call now and then when the regular band director would have to run off to Anaconda or to Dillon or to Helena for another gig. So Martz programmed this number. You'll just love it. It features Kathy on the oboe. Here's Dardanella. During the 20s, there was a real interest amongst us in the West of things that were from Asia, and that music was very, very popular. It was a distraction from the everyday goings on here in Missoula, Montana. Neat that they programmed that 100 years ago. Oh, look, someone's emptying their purse of their money. God bless you. So the donation basket is out. It was Rebecca's mom too. The donation box is out there. We can't come harass you. We usually have a team of ladies that come out and stand by you real close and clear their throat. Don't leave until you empty your purse, you know. Corey's been real good with that. Hey, hey, I was just killing time, or thought I needed to kill time. We're about ready for this one. We have a substitute director in lieu of myself or Alex Stephensoff. I was just asked Corey if they named their child Alex after Alex Stephensoff. She told me no. The Zouaves, if you've studied your history, were a French army that dressed up just ridiculously, right? They continued it into the World War II. They wore these ridiculous, and everyone would look at them going, hey, here come the French, the Zouaves, and they had their own music and their own costumes, and they still exist today in a regimental order. Well, back in 1925, on April 13th, we played this march, and in lieu of myself or anybody else, we got a guest director. I'd like to have Alex come up here and direct this march. Will you, Alex? you, Alex. Get going, buddy. I like the tie. You're putting the heat on me, buddy. Alex has been doing that for the last several years. It's a lot more fun to watch than me, huh? Hey, so this is our sorbet. Last week, was it Monday that he passed away? Like on our rehearsal night, when we're doing Blast from the Past, this guy had the gall to die. He didn't die from the corona. He just died from old age. Ennio Morricone. Now most of us don't know the name. Those of us that watch the spaghetti westerns all know the soundtracks, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All those great old Italian-made movies had a soundtrack written by this guy. Well, before he passed, he also wrote this he wrote the entire score for The Mission, which is a movie about 18th century South America and a priest that brought peace to this indigenous tribe that was dealing with conflict down there, and he was an oboe player. And he sat up on the mountainside and played this beautiful song. It's called Gabriel's Oboe, and with the passing of Ennio last week, Rebecca, I talked her into hanging out one more week before going back east, besides, you know, Montana, and a night like tonight, oh my gosh. So she did the arrangement, and she's going to play the oboe solo on it. So here's Gabriel's Oboe and Rebecca Pursehouse Olson. And then, lovely. It's only 32 bars long. Dang. Just want to go on and on. I know. Isn't it beautiful? Thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca was a student of mine 100 years ago and did her undergraduate here. and then she's a band director. She's a middle school. God bless those people. I'm trying to think of how many years I did middle school band, you know. I never killed one, but you know, that's a certain brand of folks that do that stuff on purpose. God bless you. And then she just plays so beautifully. Oh, God. And luckily, you know, Ennio died while you were here in Montana. So thanks for doing the arrangement too, kid. Hey, I also have to give a thanks. We have a couple of corporate. You believe it? I'm not much of a corporate guy, as you could well imagine. Shut up, Ludi. Except for the Gillette company, you know. Now that I know that that's my family, I'm going to start looking for some money from them. Our good friends Blackfoot Communications give us a donation every spring. This year we couldn't perform because of the coronavirus. We usually hang out and freeze at the Little Dipper down there in the hip strip and play jazz, but we couldn't do it. And Edward Jones, all the wonderful folks that manage money. The offices here in Missoula, I think there's about 10 of them, and they've been making monthly donations to the Missoula City Band. We've got a construction project that we're going to take place, and thank you for helping me thank Edward Jones and all those individual Missoula agents. And I hate to say it, you know, I never made him, you know, just a school teacher, so I didn't make much money, and I sure the hell didn't know what to do with money once I got it. And I floundered from agent. This is the true life testimonial, okay? I floundered from person to person. You know, somebody came and, you know, when I was first married, they sold me whole life insurance. You know, it made me guilty. Yeah, I bought that crap. And got bad advice and bad advice from bad advisors, and then finally grew up and found someone that could speak English to me and what I might do with my money. So someday I could retire. And the heck if it wasn't an Edward Jones agent. Not dang. So there we go. If you've got money, don't ask me. Hey, also on that program, 1925, written by Carl King. And most of us know Carl King because he's a famous march writer. We'd like to dedicate this one to our friend Bill Manning. Bill Manning taught clarinet here at University of Montana for years and years, and would come every single week. He was wheelchair bound for the last several years, and he passed this winter before the corona. And he played under Carl King in the Fort Dodge Band in Iowa. He had these great stories about Carl King. And this is from an operetta that King wrote in honor of our friend Bill Manning. And this was written in 1912. That's a year before he wrote his most famous piece. And Don Gisselbeck, our trombone player in jail.
Barnum Bailey's favorite.
Barnum Bailey's favorite. He wrote 1 year later. During this time, Carl King was playing baritone horn in the Sells Floto Circus Band. So as he's playing all those circus things, this is what he had on his mind. That's fun. That wasn't near as dangerous as that one before that I screwed up. Most of the music that we had, the actual sheet music, somehow got lost between the old guard and the newer guard. The newer guard starting with Alex Stepazov, the guy who preceded me. This one, I just don't know if it was used well or it was one of the pieces. Most everyone in the band's got an archive, right? Most of you have archives? Yeah, it just fall together. Mine's got Alex's name printed in pencil at the top. Though it was programmed before him. This was programmed by George Lawrenson, the son, in 1933. It's an interesting combination. It's written by C.W. Dalby, and he was an aspiring writer and publisher. Really, he was just trying to make a living. And he was an Iowa boy. He born in 1900. No, he made his fame in 1902. He was born in 1859 in Iowa. He conducted the Iowa State Military Band for 4 years, and that's where he got his fame, for those of us that know him. He wrote over 100 things, and he kept moving his company, trying to make a buck, trying to make a living. A year in Kansas City, 2 different stints in Council Bluff, Iowa, sorry. Chicago, yeah, Idaho, yeah, good luck with that. We weren't even a state yet out here. A year in Frankfort, Indiana, 4 different stints in Des Moines, Iowa. He was always trying to scrape together enough money to make a buck, to just make a living. In this piece he wrote, he would take his original compositions and intersperse them, hoping then he could sell his own stuff along the way while featuring the music that you'll recognize. You'll recognize the Light Cavalry Overture, and then you'll recognize Lustspiel, and at the end, the Offenbach, the Can-Can. But in between, he'd write his own stuff just to try to get his word out there. It wore on him so much, the strain of managing all this. He suffered a mental collapse and was committed, yeah, like most band directors, and committed to the Iowa State Mental Hospital in Clarinda, where he died in 1912, and his good friend would bring the band over, who was conducting a 55th Infantry Band of the Iowa National Guard, would bring him over to the sanitarium and play for the old fart. Isn't that sweet? I hope someone does that for me when I end up in Warm Springs. All right? Here is Grand Medley Superba, programmed in 1933. And not here, but where they've been playing. Down the courthouse steps. They finally built a bandstand, and then they tore that down. They finally had a better bandstand built, and then they finally came out here. For a while, they went to Greeno and played. They ended up here, and there was a wooden structure here before we built this here. But for years, the first 100 years of the band, we were all down at the courthouse, initially on the steps of the courthouse. Here is Superba. Hey, he's in the audience this evening. We need to present. He's not playing with the band during our concert season because of the corona, but we miss him so much. The Association of Concert Bands wants to present Bill Haffey in recognition of your demonstration to Music for Life and the mission of the Association of Concert Bands, which is to foster excellence in concert band music through performance, education, and advocacy. This was dated January 3rd. The coronavirus got to the certificate to Bill Haffey, who's in the audience. Come on down, Bill Haffey. Look at him right there. And he's doing just fine. He's just being careful. You know, he's kind of old. And I'm not going to touch him, nor will there be any mingling. Thank you, buddy. I meant to give out that because he was playing with the big band the first week we were here, and I had it all set out, and I told him that we were going to do it, got all ready for it. Of course, I forgot about it. Jeez. Hey, thanks so much for coming out and joining with us. Again, you know, oh my gosh, what a beautiful night. Hey, you've heard more 3/4 time tonight than you have in the rest of the year. And you find yourself swaying, all right? I'm a swayer when 3/4 time comes up. There's some folks in the front row that I find sway as well. Many of us just sway. I think it's from playing all those German waltzes at Oktoberfest. Don't know what it is, but I hope you've had your fill of 3/4 time tonight and that you enjoy the waltz. Next week, we'll be back with our masks on and those handicapped blue lines all painted on the field. If you haven't texted in yet, please do so. Bless you for the donation. Appreciate it. And we'll be back next week is Maggie in the Movies. So Maggie Schubert, retired flute instructor from the University of Montana, will be here doing a couple pieces that her husband arranged for us, for her, and the whole theme of next week is movies. God help me. And to finish up, here is Sousa's The Thunderer, as programmed by Alex Stepanzoff the year before I took over. Here's Sousa. Sousa.